This story's right, this story's true. I would not tell lies to you.
Born under a tree near Keowong Station in central New South Wales, Auntie Marjorie Woodrow's life with her family was short-lived. Taken from her mother at the age of 2, she was placed in and out of institutions for much of her childhood. She is what many people refer to as a member of the stolen generation.
I was 2 by this then when we was at Menindee Mission, 12 months I think we was there, and they turned up one day and just took me off the protection board, and the nuns, they came in and told my mum that they wanted to take me for a holiday. Well, she never seen me no more. Well, I was taken then to a property that a relative ran, and he was a top man like for the government seat on a property. It was my grandfather. I found that out when I found my mum. I'd have never known until I found my mother. Then I left there when I was 9. A lady called Alice Smith took me away from there, and she took me away. She told them she was only taking me for a holiday. She never took me back. So she died then when I was 10. Then I ended up in Cootamundra Girls' Home. Then I would have been close on 14 then. Well, I stayed there I think it was 12 months or a year and a half. No matter how small you was, you worked, you went to school, you had to learn to wash, you had to learn to iron and all that. And then they sent me out to a property, on the loan for a few weeks, like to help this woman. In that place I was terrified because I was only 14, because she had a father there, and I knew the father wanted to get into my room because I was a young woman. I was terrified of what could happen to me there. And I went to the police station in Cootamundra, gave myself up and said I run away. And he looked at me and he said, "You're nothing but a little black bastard." That's the words he said to me. "I'll take you back to the home," he said, "and I think you want a bloody good flogging." Then it was off then to the Parramatta Girls Industrial Home, where I would be disciplined in the right way. It was a nightmare for us in there, and it was a place of misery and torture. I call it the biggest hell to have to go back to. Parramatta Girls' Home, where they used to molest the kids, and we'd have to sit and watch it. A couple of the girls there committed suicide while I was there. I knew I was Aboriginal. I knew that I had an Aboriginal mother. They said, your mother is dead and deceased, father unknown, see. No mention of any siblings whatsoever. My mother said she was too frightened to speak out at all. And they'd say to them when they put them on the reserve, "Well, you hand your children over now," and that's what happened to her with the other children when they come and took them off her. You either hand your children over or you go without flour and tea. So they had no choice. And she said from that day then, when they took the last lot of the children, she locked herself in a house for 8 years and never left it.
The journey of reconnecting with family members has not been an easy one for Auntie Marjorie. 68 years after being taken away, mother and daughter were reunited.
Nobody will ever realise the torture, like in the mind, how you was going to cope with what you're going to find. But when the news came that my mother wanted to meet me and she was alive, we couldn't get there quick enough. And when I seen her, this tiny little black woman, I thought she couldn't be my mother, like the size of me, the giant. And I said to her, "Are you sure we're mother and daughter?" And she said, "Do you mind if I put my finger down the front of your blouse?" And I said, "It's okay." She put it down the front of my blouse and she hit what she was looking for, and she cried. And I always wondered what the mark was between my breasts, you see. So that's how we became the mother and daughter, the real mother and daughter. When she started to cry, I knew we belonged to one another.
Through Auntie Marjorie's search for her own family, she has met many members of the stolen generation and formed lifelong friendships. Uncle Des Donnelly is one of those people.
Well, I was born in Queensland. My mother was an Aboriginal woman and my father was a white man. I was 6 months old. I had no say in my life, and then whatsoever I come under the jurisdiction of the government, and they determined my life, and from when I was 6 months until I become the age of 18. Never ever seen her. And my mother died, so I never saw them at all.
With the new Labor government apologising to the stolen generation, Auntie Marjorie is hopeful that this will further the cause of reconciliation in Australia.
It's not the people that live in the public, in the community with us. It is the government we're talking about of the day, and it is the government's responsibility now to clean the mess up. Because I think it was the biggest mistake they ever done to any child, not only our Aboriginal, to any child that they took away from the parent, to take them away from the parent, and how would our government leaders like their children to be ripped from the front of them the way our families were ripped from our family, never to see their children again.
Yes, I can.